Selamat welcome back to another video with Mas Bule Main. Hari ini gue akan bahas tier list part the misfill for classic constructed spesifik untuk Nationals 2024 di Indonesia. Jadi gue bakal ngerankingin hero dari S sampai F untuk hero-hero yang masih legal di classic constructed meta untuk dipakai di Nationals 2024 ini. Jadi untuk kalian-kalian yang masih galau, yang masih doubt what deck you wanna use, you're confused, you have so many heroes, so many options, mungkin this tier list bisa help you guys out untuk make your choice dan bikin pilihan yang tepat. Supaya lebih jelas, gue mau set dulu kriterianya. What makes an S tier hero, what makes an F tier hero, and what makes a middling B or C tier hero gitu. Pertama dari definisi dulu. For me, an S tier hero is a deck that performs well into most of the top decks. Jadi nggak harus favorable matchup ya, tapi minimal ada chance untuk menang. Minimal kayak at least 50-50 atau kalau unfavorable tuh 45-55 gitu. Nggak ada yang timpang banget ke deck-deck yang ada di atas atau yang bakal rame, yang meta share ramai. Clear definition for an S tier hero buat gue di meta ini adalah Azalea. Karena predator utamanya, Guardians, itu lagi turun pamor banget. Dan deck-deck yang dia punish, deck aggro, deck-deck yang perlu multiple go against, itu sekarang lagi banyak. Dan even ke Enigma, yang banyak instance nggak perlu go again, cuman dia ada arrow Murkmire yang bikin damage-nya nggak bisa di-prevent. Jadi semua ward-wardnya yang di-build sama si Enigma, everything will be popped without preventing a single point of damage. Jadi value banget. Dan arrow bisa di-dominate. Jadi it's not easy to block out as well. So definitely an S tier hero for me, for those reasons. Next is I want to put a baseline for what's a B, low B or high C tier hero. For me, I think that would be Kasai. Kasai dulu jago banget pas metanya everyone was on KO karena dia bisa ya bully-bully si KO-nya. Cuman sekarang KO-nya udah slightly turun. Populasinya nggak sebanyak dulu. Terus her fair game plan itu udah mulai lebih kebaca. Jadi orang udah tahu nih mesti ngebloknya seperti apa untuk nge-prevent dia snowball out of control dengan blood on her hands sama Raisin Army. Jadi stoknya favorable matchup-nya mulai hilang dan orang udah mulai ngerti cara ngelawan dia. Jadi maybe a low B tier hero. Terus next is an F tier hero. F tier hero buat gue adalah deck yang kayak there's just strictly better options kalau lu mau main yang seperti itu gitu. Contohnya Betsy. Sadly, walaupun dia hero favorit gue pas pertama heavy di spoil, cuman Betsy is in a position where kalau lu mau main Betsy, kayak ya sekalian aja main Bravo. You can build the same exact deck, tuker specialization-nya, malah Bravo punya specialization lebih kuat, and you have a stronger overall deck. And Bravo's not even a high tier hero, jadi kayak what you're substituting yourself, your better version of Betsy is not even a high tier. Jadi kayak she herself ya turun banget lah. Kayak perlu more support, more specialization. Mungkin seperti Olympia, di mana dia udah dikasih visit the Golden Anvil. Betsy perlu kartu yang kayak gitu lebih dari satu buat lebih nge-solidify game plan yang dia inginkan, dan harus clearly different atau angle-nya ada yang better than what Bravo can do, karena dominate itu almost always better than overpower. Oke, karena kita udah tahu nih kalau hero yang di atas seperti apa, hero yang di tengah seperti apa, hero yang kayak bottom-bottom kayak nggak rekomen nih buat dibawa, kita udah tahu seperti apa. Kita lanjut. Gue nggak terlalu berurut ya, jadi bakal acak based on kayak lagi pengen ngomongin ini nih. Nah, kayak gue mau ngomongin dari yang hot-hot dulu nih. Jadi Enigma, fresh off the printers, part the Misfell Hero, menurut gue super well positioned. Walaupun ke Azalea match-up-nya nggak bagus-bagus banget, tapi juga nggak unfavorable banget karena Azalea being a ranger hero, dia prone to fatigue karena senjatanya nggak bisa mukul. Jadi kalau arrow-nya bisa kamu tahan, bisa kamu habisin, kamu bisa defend, kamu bisa heal, kamu bisa nge-stop damage Azalea from killing you. Pas arrow dia habis, udah pasti 100% menang, tinggal cucuk-cucuk pakai spectral shield. Selain itu, even for an illusionist ngelawan ninja usually nightmare, I feel Enigma di meta sekarang bisa handle Katsu sangat sangat baik karena Katsu perlu hit, sementara semua ward dia bikin very hard to hit. Kedua, lawan Zen biasanya go very wide, your dance blue mist sama this rounds on me, sama kalau mau bawa tangan Thanos equipment legendary baru, I don't remember the name, I'll just say tangan Thanos lah, the very cheap gauntlet yang -1 to everything this combat chain. If you bring those three, match-up-nya very manageable, very doable. Belum lagi, it's almost free against assassins, against warriors, deck-deck yang kesulitan nge-handle your spectra atau damage output yang nggak bisa go over on top of your ward untuk ngeberesin boardnya, you can snowball very easy. Jadi part the Misville, I feel like this set's power level is just very high, and all of the part the Misville heroes kayak semuanya menurut gue di atas-atas, dan terutama si Enigma adanya menurut gue di S tier. Jadi a very good choice kalau lu mau bawa Enigma ke Nationals 2024 di Indo. Oke, let's go next. Ketuker ya coy prismnya, baru sadar. Nih prism yang LL, ini prism yang kita punya. Prism yang kita punya ada di A tier. Menurut gue similar to Enigma, cuman bedanya dia very aggressive, terus matchup dia lebih polarizing. Jadi matchup dia yang bagus, dia bagus banget, tapi matchup dia yang jelek juga dia repot kewalahan gitu. Tapi ngelawan Azalea, Arclight Sentinel tuh jago banget karena buff sebelum dia nembak arrow-nya, habis play buff kedua turun ILS, you get a free turn gitu. Jadi selama udah punya Angel atau Herald yang bisa generate value saat lu new return-nya, it's menurut gue bagus banget sih. Terus belum lagi pressure-nya jauh lebih tinggi daripada Enigma karena Herald-nya mukul 7 tapi mainnya very tricky, dan in my opinion two of the best Prism pilots this tournament gak main. Jadi if you wanna play Prism, latihan from today. You don't have time to dilly-dally your deck options. Kalau emang consider Prism, latihan dari sekarang bro. Lanjut. Let's go through the WTR heroes. I feel like Bravo, ini gue kelompokin nih, Katsu and Reinar, siapa lagi, Dorin. Okay, I feel like this is the WTR area dimana Dorin in a similar vein to Kasai, orang udah mulai tahu nih cara handle-nya, kayak pukulan pertama 2, pukulan kedua 5 atau 8, kayak udah matematikanya kebaca. They don't do anything explosive, kayak game-nya tuh ya gitu. Terus beda sama kayak Azalea yang punya kayak crazy 14 dominator tapi punya turn yang loyo. Nah si warrior ini sangat stabil, tapi stability bisa kalah atau dimakanin sama si si Enigma ini, si Prism sama KO, ya sama deck-deck yang bisa go over the top, itu susah jadinya buat si Dorin. Sementara Bravo juga di mana Bravo itu a better Betsy, kita punya Victor which is a better Bravo karena bisa ngebloknya jauh lebih better karena you get an extra card when blocking kalau clash. Even though, terus pukulannya juga bisa sangat sakit due to the new card, the Cast Homes atau apa Visit the Golden Estate, itu bikin pukulannya, kalau dulu kan Bravo lebih sakit atau bisa lebih sakit karena Dominators bukannya guarantee hit tapi bloknya less than Victor. Kalau sekarang Victor udah bloknya lebih jago, kalau udah punya Might token dari Visitnya itu mukulnya juga way harder than Bravo. Dia is an okay option. B and C tier, you can definitely bring them and win games, but I would be surprised kalau ada yang masuk top 8 pakai hero ini. Prove me wrong. Next is Katsu, How the Mighty Have Fallen. Even though di atas ada 2 Illusionist, tapi nggak segampang itu. The new Illusionist bikin lo susah hit. Terus Prism, when you tag against ninjas, kalau selama Heraldnya masuk 1 aja, terus you have the headpiece buat cari Herald of Judgment when you pop your Mass of the Pouncing Links. Semakin orang experience dengan matchupnya dan orang tahu how to block Katsu, stoknya tuh turun gitu. Dan di meta sekarang selain ada ward dari 2 hero ini, armor hero-nya tuh juga makin tebel. Dan Azalea, one of his worst matchups, lagi di puncak. Jadi kayak ya kalau bisa ngandelin Gem Luck and dodge the Azalea matchups and prey on the aggro heroes that don't wanna block, sure Katsu is very good. Cuman ya yang di atas kayak gini susah sih menurut gue. Terus next Reiner. Okay, I'll put Reiner all the way. Enggak deh. Stick him with the WTR gang. Jadi WTR tuh low B high C. Reiner kayak in a meta where people don't really wanna block anyway, hero ability-nya jadi vanilla karena yang lo intimidate kayak ya udah nggak penting, I'm not gonna block with any cards, nggak ke-punish. Reiner tuh jago kalau banyak deck-deck mau ngeblok seperti Victor, Warriors, Assassin yang nggak bisa utilize semua kartu di tangan, jadi pengen 2 kartu buat block, 2 kartu dimainin. Intimidate tuh ganggu banget karena pasti udah jelas yang pengen di keep buat dimainin 2 ini boleh lah ngeblok gitu. Nah, kalau yang ke intimidate adalah kartu yang pengen ngeblok, berarti either harus bocor atau ngeblok pakai kartu yang sebenarnya pengen dipakai. Cuman kalau ya kita pukul-pukulan sama-sama keep for card hand, send for card hand, keep for card hand, send for card hand, ya intimidate vanilla gitu. Jadi I feel kalau mau main Brute, there are 2 better options, kayak both Levia and Kaio lebih oke di meta sekarang. Langsung kita masuk aja Levia sama Kaio. Levia dulu ya. Levia sleeper pick sih kata gue. Yang main jarang, cuman hero-nya jago gila. Kartu barunya ya, The Shadow Realm Horror or whatever it's called, is insane. 2 resource, 7 go again, get a free card. Itu bisa, you can get a 2 card 13. Jadi pitch a blue Shadow Realm Horror, dapat all the modes, and then you play a 1 cost 6. Ya udah, jadi cuma pitch, that's 1 card, and then Shadow Realm Horror, that's another card. Tapi you get a free card dari yang di banish dari graveyard buat mukul. Jadi 2 card 13 damage, belum lagi ya ngitung value dari 2 kartu yang ngebloknya lagi, misalnya 3-3 gitu, that's 19 value gitu. Belum lagi armornya juga very very strong gitu. Brute has one of the best armor sets. Di printnya Sash, di printnya Scowling Flashback, itu di aggro mirror curang banget najis. Scowling Flashback kartu salah cetak, please ban it. As a ninja main, I hate it. So yeah, she's in a very good spot. Next brute up is KO. KO used to be the king. I feel like sekarang di bawah Levia dikit ya. Dulu kan Levia isunya consistency. Kayak kalau KO kan kayak smooth like butter gitu, kayak selalu bisa consistent damage outputnya above rate. Dan Levia kadang-kadang kayak aduh break nih anjir nggak ada Gogen atau apa, dengan di printnya agile wind up, runner runner, terus the new Shadow Realm Horror, Levia sekarang nggak kekurangan go again sama sekali. Dan damage output dari kartu-kartu Shadow lebih sakit karena ada conditionality-nya, kayak mau dipakai harus banish dulu, mau dipakai harus udah ada kartu power 6 or more ditaruh di banish turn ini. Karena ada condition itu, power kartunya lebih tinggi. Warna kuning bisa mukul 6, cost 1. Strong banget. Jadi kalau ada waktu buat belajar, you used to be a KO main, punya kartu-kartu Levia, boleh consider. Tapi kalau mau stick with KO, also very strong option. Nggak heran kalau masuk top 8. Oke, next kita masuk ke dunia mekanologis kali ya. Mekanologis yang terbottom saat ini menurut gue Teklo. Kayak gimana ya, susah bro, lu main Iron Man, lu pasang-pasang armor lawan hero-hero di atas, lawan ini arsenal lo hilang, terus lu udah hilang nyawa banyak, kena penyakit macem-macem karena serangannya dominate, nggak bisa tahan. Lawan ini by the time armor lu jadi, field dia udah nggak ke handle. Lawan 2 ini damage outputnya terlalu konsisten, jadi lu mau tiap kali mau pasang armor 1 bocor damage-nya gede. Jadi lawan the top decks nggak viable. Lawan yang di sini kayak juga, pokoknya lawan aggro matchup susah. Lawan deck yang bisa kayak dash pistol gitu, slap dash, juga pasti mati didor-dorin. Mau soalnya Teklovation-nya cuma bisa nyerang kayak kalau nge-banish soul kan, lama-lama habis. Sementara kalau pistol plus pump plus go again nggak ada habisnya, mau cukup modal pitch 2 biru. Jadi masih kurang sih, even ada printingan AB. Next, Dash OG menurut gue top of B. Kenapa top of B dan nggak A tier? Karena sebenarnya ada dua sih. Karena dia sebenarnya fleksibel, dia bisa main boost aggro yang pam max velocity, sama bisa main yang slap control. Kalau main slap control kamu berat banget lawan illusionist. Kalau kamu main yang aggro, kamu berat lawan Azalea dan Parabrute. Karena Parabrute bisa bawa Arc Smash, ngancurin item kamu pagi-pagi. Kalau Azalea ya seperti biasa jahat sama deck aggro. You can very easily ilangin your arsenal card and red in the ledger, you don't have a turn gitu. Belum lagi kalau bawa item-item bolong. That's why, tapi karena dia ada dua jenis deck, the opponent might not be able to gauge kayak what type of dash you're on until the top 8. Cuman still a strong contender, tapi it has some issues lah, makanya taruhnya di top of B instead of di A. Next, the other dash yang ini menurut gue kita nggak ganggu deretan WTR ini ya. Inilah bagi biar dua-dua. Oke. Nah, dash yang ini menurut gue slightly worse daripada dash yang ini. Kenapa? Karena lebih rawan clunky-clunky-nya gitu. Lu ngasih illusionist nafas setengah berat. Lu lawan Azalea kalau lagi dipukul kenceng nggak dominate, tapi tangan lu item 2 biji nggak bisa nahan juga. Jadi kayak berat lawan yang atas-atas, although kamu favorable lawan deck-deck yang damage outputnya kurang kayak gini nih. Jadi kalau sesama B tier, I would give the edge to Dash IO. Cuman kalau lawan yang atas-atas nih susah kayak. tapi still doable. Makanya dia pokoknya top of C ke atas, kalau dibawa still okay. Lu bawa D sama F, ya mungkin ke sana hanya untuk collect promo ya. Tapi if someone proves me wrong, nanti gue interview. Let's go. Tinggal dikit nih hero-nya. Next kita runblade-runbladean kali ya. Viserai sama Vincent. Viserai actually kayak top of C sih. Kenapa gue taruh top of C walaupun menurut gue dia kuat adalah karena metanya Azalea nih di atas nih. Orang pasti mikirnya deck-deck yang base blue atau deck-deck yang bisa bawa Warmonger tanpa terlalu ngedisrupt game plan mereka sendiri, bawa. Terus Warmonger selain jago lawan Azalea, jago lawan siapa? Jago lawan Viscera ya. That's why dia kayak korban sampingan gitu lah. Sayang banget, padahal very strong. If you expect a lot of people don't have Warmongers, boleh naik ke top of B. Tapi since I expect there to be Warmongers, di sini dulu parkir. Next is Vincent, baru dapat kartu baru, Eloquent Eology. It's very strong. Rune Gate 1 gue kira nggak bakal akan pernah dicetak karena ya tinggal lo taruh itu langsung pukul. It's a 0 for 5 hitungannya. 1 arcane, 4 biasa dengan on hit bikin something yang relevant. Itu bikin mainin Read the Runes dan kartu-kartu NAA powerful tapi nggak ada go again jadi viable karena you get the go again from the Eloquence token. But still feel like she has some issues. Tapi kalau if you expect Enigma bakal banyak banget, and Prism bakal ada banyak, dan Azalea juga you don't really care karena lo attack-nya sekali terus gede biasanya. Actually Vincent's better position than Viserai, jadi I would put her in between there. Yeah, actually makin dilihat ke yang atas-atas bisa gitu. Okay, next is Assassins. Okay, nggak usah dijelasin lah ya. You already know. Until he gets more support. If you really want to play Arachne, play him in Skirmish or Blitz, play the better Arachne. This one just gets outshined really hard by the new Assassin. No pun intended. Nu. Okay, Nu is definitely an A tier hero. I would place her above the two brutes. Why? Karena disruption yang dibawa sama Nu tuh very powerful. If she doesn't have the headpiece, misalnya headpiece dia cuma punya traverse, dia legendary something else yang nggak nyomot tangan, I wouldn't put her this high. It's the Ijur head that really makes her shine. Karena you can guarantee with Siren's Call, with your headpiece, you can guarantee strip cards even when they don't block. Jadi it's very good, very disruptive. Decks that want to keep lots of cards are bakal kesusahan. Enigma juga mau keep word harus mikir-mikir kalau lu punya kartu yang nggak bisa di-prevent. Itu yang aku puntur, gue lupa namanya. Kalau itu terus di-react kayak lu Fang Strike plus terus Hiss gitu kayak plus 8 total. Ya plus 7. Ya plus 8 karena dari itunya sendiri plus 1. Just be careful about snag, tapi snag harganya udah naik banget dan di sini stoknya susah, jadi not sure a lot of people will have snag. Jadi itu juga menurut gue di Nationals Indonesia bikin Nu very top tier pick. Okay, controversy time. I have Kano in my S tier. Kenapa? Karena people, I feel like nggak bakal expect ya dari 64 orang yang bawa Kano berapa? 2 gitu. Terus sideboard slot susah nih, you're stretch every which way. Mesti bawa snack buat ini, mesti bawa warmonger buat ini, mesti bawa unpreventable buat ini. Sideboard terus belum equips. You don't have a lot of slots left. What do you cut? Usually the arcane barrier. Karena ya just dodge lah the Kano matchup, or if you feel like Kano matchupnya good enough lah, don't need, daripada AB3 AB1 spell void 1 lah gitu, you cut, trim, that's when he gets you. Jadi the 3 S tier heroes for me this season, national season di Indo: Azalea, Enigma, and Kano. Jadi kalau lu bawa salah satu di antara 3 hero ini, chance lo top 8 selama lo latihan is very high, I feel. Karena power level of these heroes dengan diprinted Kindle, juicy. Oke, tadi Assassin belum kelar. Azuri I feel like is lu balik deh ke, go back to C. Okay. Now Azuri is also a very strong pick karena the bonds of agony and prognosis just makes Azuri so annoying karena you can play it, kalau nggak di-respect sama sekali, you can pop the headpiece, pop the flick knives, pop the shoes. That's 3 reactions. Comot deh dari decknya. Tapi kalau okay, I respect it to just enough to block the bonds. Okay, block 4 or block 5 gitu. And then he switches karena it's a stealth card. You can switch it with the CNC, with the weakest link. Terus you're disrupted. Okay then, you block 2 or 3 cards kalau gitu supaya nggak kena nih. Yaudah, that's your whole turn. And all he spent was a blue stealth card. Not even, karena dia bisa nuker sama kartu nggak penting lainnya. Misalnya tangan ada yang bikin stealth, bikin blood rot, kan that's less important than bonds of agony. Yaudah, pukul itu, nggak block nih. Yaudah, reaction, do you over respect, over block. Yaudah, ditukar nih, bondsnya back in his deck, ready to chase after you in the second or third cycle. Scary. Okay. Abisin warrior dulu kayaknya. Boltyn I feel like also A tier. Ini nanti gue rutin lagi, tapi let's just put him here first. Boltyn karena lo bisa 3 build beda. Bisa full aggro Raiden, bisa full combo Centauri Hotstreak atau double Centauri, bisa Decimator Boltyn. Dan people sidingnya lawan deck A, B, dan C beda-beda. You have the flexibility. Terus deck di sini di atas nih, selain these 3 mau mukul, which means they have a lot of attack actions, which means your hero ability is almost always live. Terus lo lawan Kano, walaupun dia nggak punya attack action, your favorite karena lo punya the spell void, kepala spell void, sama kalau bawa kaki Radiant Flow. So if you wanna respect the Kano, terus biasa juga bawa Oasis. Jadi berat banget for the Kano to tembusin you. You just need to figure out the Enigma matchup. Sisanya I feel like you can easily handle these guys. At least it's a 50-50. Okay, final one. I'm sorry, Ricky Lianto. Cuman I have to put Olympia in the D as a do not play tier. Cuman I'll put him on top of Teklo. So he's the top of D tier. Jadi kalau mau main warrior, if you wanna wallet fatigue someone atau pamer you have tons of legendary equipments, gas boleh, karena lo bisa bawa 3 grains of blood spell, 3 Pice Galia, 3 apalah kaki yang legendary yang bisa pecah. Tapi you have tangan legendary yang bisa pecah. You can flex a lot, but I'm not sure if you're gonna win a lot. Okay, that's all the warriors. Let's save Ninja for last. Let's go with Max dulu. Tadi belum selesai ternyata mekanya lupa ada yang ini. Actually, 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 yeah, that's it. Sampai situ. Menurut gue actually a strong pick, a decent pick karena the new card, it solves all your problems. Generates the extra steam counters and the extra hyperdriver that you need to henshin earlier, and then it solves the problem of your nitro mechanoids going to banish from boosting too much. That single card, I feel like pushed Max from being a haha meme funny armory deck to if you bring it, I respect you. It's not a bad choice. Riptide. Riptide's also legit. I would even put him top of A. Karena your pings, your trappings, rusakin ini. You can play 2-card hands well, so assassins don't really ganggu you very, very much. You're still a ranger. You still have access to your unpreventables. Terus you can gangguin your opponent in a lot of ways. Kalau bawa both Dreadbore and Death Dealer, musuh kayak, okay, I'll bring in defense reactions. Terus you bring in Dreadbore, kayak, oh, punish banget. Your only horrible matchup, I feel like, is Kano. Kayak, ya udah makan siang ya, bro. Okay, Victor. Definitely di atas Bravo. I wouldn't put him... He was S tier last season. I feel like he's gone down and down. I would put him under Dashayo. Ya. Kenapa gitu? Karena sekarang banyak illusionist. Kayak susah. Sama Brute, mereka ya konsisten gebukin. Kemarin aja jebol, apalagi sekarang mereka ditambahin Sash, makin susah. The assassins are fine, Bolton's fine. You eat Azalea for breakfast, but Kano and the Illusionist and the Brutes, these 5 out of 8, agak berat. And the ninjas that you've been hunting down, Katsunya turun pamor. Jadi Fai juga lebih rungkat lagi. Jadi I wouldn't recommend, kayak he's still a strong pick. Baseline-nya udah kuat banget. Karena you draw extra cards, that's always good. You deal extra damage from your mites, that's also good. Tapi tinggal matchup spread issue aja. Kalau jam luck-nya bagus, ketemu ke pairing-pairing sama yang good matchup instead of Illusionist and the Kanos, not surprised to see kalau masuk top 8 juga. Fai. Even though I used to be a Fai main, I have 5 sleeves, but he's in D for do not play. Tapi di sini, di bawah Ricky's Olympia. Susah bro, rungkat bro. You don't have on hits. Your damage is too jujur. Even though it's very annoying for Illusionist to deal with you. You bring Tiger Stripe Shuko naturally. Tapi you get eaten up by Azalea. The Brutes deal more damage and they have better armor. Sculling Flashback is a nightmare. And the Assassins just screw you over. You can't block for shit. Semuanya block 2 bro, sedih. And that's where we land with my boy Zen. My boy Zen is right there. Middle of A tier. Very strong pick. Karena unlike Katsu, no need to hit. Unlike Fai, can block well with 3 block cards and blocking equipment. Actually 7 block compared to Katsu's 2 block. Terus you don't need to hit, you can search for it. Your tigers can be very annoying for Illusionists with War to Handle. Your damage 1-1-1 itu bakal nyicil the assassins as well. Jadi they're gonna be bocor-bocor darahnya. You're only not happy to see Azalea. And to some extent, the brutes, if they know how to use the Scowling Flashback. Okay, let's review and see if anything's out of place. F is playing for fun. D is do not play. C is oke lah kalau emang cuma ada itu hero-nya gitu. Kalau B, bagus. Bring these. If you bring this, okay. Siap, mantap, you can win. You're here and you're here to win. S is santai bro, sampai top 8. Kita lihat urutannya, I feel like ini udah bener. Azalea is the top dog, Kano being bottom of S, Snoo being at the top of A tier, and then the brutes, and then Zen, and then these three guys, Riptide being top of A. Dua ini mirip, so I'll put them together. Let's put the mechs together. Actually, yeah. Dua ini tadinya very meme tier, sekarang kayak gini. This is the WTR bracket, and then Viserai, and then Ricky Olympia. Yeah, everything seems in its place. That's the end result. Itu tier list buat Nasional 2024 di Indonesia for Classic Constructed Flesh and Blood. Hope you enjoy the video. Let me know, what do you think of my tier list? Which ones differ from your opinion? Comment in the comment section below. If you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Sampai goodbye.